Good morning, good evening, and good day. Thank you so much for watching Attack Power Gaming. Today, we dive into a Division 1 match of Season 9 of Steel Division 2 League. If you guys enjoy this content, hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon to get better at Steel Division 2 and support the channel. Let's dive right in. So here we are with one of our first games casted here of our Steel Division 2 League with Fanty versus Khers. We have 26th Strelki for Fanty and 5th Cav for Khers. Well, obviously you know who I'm rooting for now. Obviously I need to see my beloved division do well for no other reason than I love it. Although maybe I wanted to see it do poorly so people won't want to ban it or anything. But anyway, Orsha East, great map, love this one. So deployment coming down here, got a nice chunk of troops going up north for Fanty, a couple of 50 mil mortars, Cavelerie DPs, Avtos, Strelki rocks, PTRS, some OT-34s, which are T-34s with a flamer. Got a whole bunch of stuff. M42 guns in the middle here with Cavelerie, Strelki, snipers, PTRSs, Ognimachikis, and more Maxim and PTRSs. And down south we have some Strelki Strafnikis, T-34E, M42, Maxim, and PTRS. Both these players also on Vanguard. Very important to note because that's basically all the special infantry. He's basically got every card of unique infantry you can get there. Up north, very light for Khers here, but two Pionnier assaults, which are extremely strong, a Orsha and a Lieutenant Artillery. And then we have a Lunatist, which is a sniper, Hotchkiss, Orsha, Pantashrek, and Kararashi. And then we have a Orsha, ABU Sora, Begleitgrenadier, Pionnier Assault, and Orsha for the middle. Should be interesting where he's doing with that. And a rather large force down south here for Khers with a Lunatist, Stug 3, Kararashi, some machine guns, Arashitsa, love them, Orsha, PM Orsha, and ABU Sora. So off we go. We have no early planes or anything yet, so no early alarms. But it does look like Khers is going for quite a large push down south. Honestly, he should be able to... Well, I mean, actually, with the OT-34s, if Fanty's aggressive with them, Khers could be in a lot of trouble. He does have a Pantashrek here, so that's really key that he has that in there. Not using those early Puska anti-cars that I love so much, the really strong AT rifles. Sad to see, but the Pantashreks are understandable, to be sure. With both players on Vanguard, this should be, this will either grind forever or be over very fast. So we'll find out. PTRS coming in. Might get some snipes here. Ooh, but unfortunately for him, the PTRS kind of moved, and then these guys pulled off the road quite early there. Khers deploying very far back here, not wanting to actually like rumble on this hill. Looks like this southern pushaway is going for it. Although truthfully, Fanty actually deployed a fairly large number of troops down here. Usually the southern flank is kind of empty, and here we have quite a lot of fighting going on with this ABU Sora really swinging this fight, along with of course some Rashitsa fun. Support weapons have been wiped out, and now these Romanian infantry can easily wipe these guys out. Now, Strelki Rock and Strafniki are both very strong units, so they can definitely put up a fight, but against two Kararashi, two snipers, and an Orsha with more coming, that's going to be a hard ask. That's going to be a big ask. Infantry just getting in there. Fanty already thrown down some 50 mil mortars. Not sure. Oh, he's going a little. He's obviously expecting this, but since he's using Pionnier assaults, he kept them further back. So he's going to totally miss that. These ABU Sora is proving to be a massive pain. He definitely needs more of these 45 mils to kind of counter these. T-34E, though, in a nice position here to kind of do some damage. These Orsha are just so good at all ranges. They really don't have a bad range. I mean, they will lose to, like, dedicated long-range infantry like Fallschirmjägers or, like, dug-in Panzergrenadiers, but otherwise they do quite well. Avto's really kind of garbage, honestly. They're, like, not good. So these Pionnier assaults should absolutely wreck these guys pretty definitively. Unless, of course, those 50 mil mortars help swing the fight, which they look like they may here. Double flamer coming in. Yep, okay. Those 50 mil mortars swinging this fight. Now, they won't surrender because of the lieutenant, the artillery commander here, but he is not watching up here at all. Strelki rocks, on the other hand, very strong and will wipe these out. Oh, not good. Oh, and then he's got the OT-34 in position here. Taking out a transport. Khers is on the micro now. He's noticed this very large attack. Did get his flames off, but yeah, a lot of trouble there. Khers focusing would appear down south. Orsha versus Strelki Rocks, not a good fight. These Strelki Rocks will wipe them out. Stug 3 at close range. Usually this is where you want your T-34 to be, but not in this case, apparently. And Fanty grabbing this flag here, holding a 14-10. Very nice. And making a great push up north here. JU-87D coming in to kill one of these T-34s. 5th Cav with an abundance of cluster planes. Fighter in Yak 9 to try to take that down. If he can head on it, he should be safe, and he does. So if he retreats immediately, he'll probably be fine. Stug 3 takes out the T-34 like we saw in the Orsha. He got wiped out. Cavelerie here in trying to take out this 50 mil mortar. This would be a very nice kill because, as we saw up north, those can definitely help swing these infantry fights quite significantly. Khers in a lot of trouble up north here. Once you get pushed out of this northern section, it's an absolute crap fest to try to get back in there. 26th being a very, very strong division. One of my favorite allied divisions, personally. And just, I mean, it's just a lot of fun to play, and it's got a lot of good weapons. It's like a lot of good tools all around. The one department's a little lacking in his AT. It doesn't have any sort of, like, ZIS-2s or anything like that, so it relies on ZIS-3s and Su-85s, which, you know, is never that good. Khers really needs to just hop this Beglite forward here or something, because he's just losing this flag for no reason. Now, 14-10, 13-11, no difference. Rashitsa here will absolutely destroy this T-34 well, but actually could land a freaking hit. Oh, Khers, I understand the struggle. I truly, truly do. Push this out quite far into... I mean, he could have just left it in this position, and it would have been perfectly fine. And honestly, would have reached further. This is an odd push for me, in my opinion. Very strange push. Remember again, reminder that both these players are on Vanguard. So this is key to remember that both players are basically pouring their hearts and souls out here. Khers definitely much better known for doing this Vanguard thing. He's one of the only players who really, like, consistently plays Vanguard right now. Or at least last season, I should say. Last season, really the only guy experimenting with the Vanguard income. Another JU coming in again. This should be a second one because the first one did get damaged. OT does get out this time, though it is forced to fall back, so it's out of combat for the time being. Hotchkiss in a nice position here, at least, to pin down some of these infantry that are preventing him from entering. He's got nothing else to follow up, so it doesn't look like any more going on there. Stug 3 coming into the middle here. He's got some infantry built up here. Finally takes this flag back. If he can push him all the way out, he'll get back to the 12-12, which would definitely be beneficial for him, to be sure. Fanty here so far playing quite well, keeping Khers on his toes. Stug 3 taken out by that Su-85. Su-85 actually showing its stuff. Nice to see. Cavelerie, obviously a much stronger sniper unit than just a sniper, but 2v1, two small sniper units will beat one, well, and then throw in some Su-85 HE support there too, and you definitely have a winning combo. Some reinforcements coming down south, kind of surprising, honestly, because it's really quite quiet, and Khers is throwing more troops into that, especially when he's got troops sitting out here getting absolutely decimated. This Hotchkiss doing great work, though. It does pin quite fast. It's a very heavy machine gun. Not my choice these days, because they do have the ZB-53s now that are, like, also 1250 meter range, so you get more, and they're cheaper than the Hotchkiss, so with equal range. Obviously, the Hotchkiss is putting out more suppression stuff, but yeah. Anyway, push in the middle here. Orsha going out across the open. Stug 3 out of position to try to support this attack here. This Orsha, though, also pushed forward really hard. Khers is just so aggressive. He is not afraid to throw troops forward and kind of just see what happens. Stug 3 finally taking out one of these snipers. M42 here, laying down some fire on that Beglite. Center push does get through, though. He just walked him. He said forget it and just kept walking. He didn't even wait to, like, pin this Cavelerie or anything. Hotchkiss, though, coming out of cover and getting pinned quite quickly along with the Cavelerie from the double Maxim. Yeah, I mean, Khers is not afraid to leave cover and go for it. I admire him for that, because I'm a big weenie when it comes to that. 50 mil mortar still doing their damage. Hotchkiss continuing to lay down the suppression. IAR, recon bomber, absolutely insanely good. This thing just, it's so much. These Yak 9s are garbage. Stinking, heaping piles of trash. They're like BF 109 G2s. Poo. They're just poo. They make you so sad. IR, though, not retreated and is gonna get shot down here. Unless there's AA I don't know about, and I don't see... Oh, he does have ZB-53s as well as the Hotchkisses. Wow, that's a lot of machine guns. And down it's gonna go here. Yes, IR is not super... they're fragile. Let's put it that way. Stug 3 taking some shots. It has not noticed the M42 gun though, so I'm pretty sure it's getting side-shotted here. Yak 9's brought back to ground attack. Gun jam, basically dead essentially. Although I think it still fires its machine gun. Probably doesn't. Probably doesn't. Rashid though takes out one of these snipers. Very important. He's got to kill those supporting snipers. He did lose his infantry here in this spot, so this Ognamachiki is capturing all this stuff. Fanty continuing to keep the pressure on. We're coming in only a minute left of phase B. Excuse me, phase A. Sniper goes down, ZB-53 in position here. These guys reorganize themselves and are now defeating those Maxims and stuff that defeated them earlier. And Khers is slowly chipping at this defense. It's starting to look thinner and thinner. There aren't any support weapons left there anymore. Another plane went down. I don't know what. Oh, a Ju-87. It would appear to these Yak 9s. Very aggressive. And now there's a ZSU M15 there as well. Quite a solid AA piece. Other issue with 26 is you don't have much AA. You just have these M15s, which are good, but you only get like 6. So it can be rough. ZB-53 taking on 2 different units. Not a good combo. These infantry just chilling out in the open. Gonna get kind of wrecked by those DPs once they get there. Khers making a lot of aggressive plays, but not taking a lot of ground and looking a little thin across his entire line. These Rashid's down south can definitely hold this ground, you know, and really dominate because they're very strong, even as HE weapons. But on the flip side, I guess, Fanty looking quite thin in the middle, and if you get pushed off this central hill, you're in a lot of trouble. We are now into phase B, so if both players down to 125 points of income, something to be aware of. So their ability to make massive pushes slowly reducing here. Once you get to C phase, you really cut back all the way to 90 points. Similar to Maverick, though 90 is definitely better than 80. I know that seems obvious, but the difference is significant. 90 points can buy you most mediums and tanks and stuff. 80 points, you're starting to really struggle to even buy just medium tanks. You know, Stug being 80 points itself, Stug 4 being 85 points. Rashidza supplying its fantastic HE support to the ZB-53. There we go. Strafniki gonna definitely dominate this fight here, without a doubt. Center Hill, Khers continues to make progress. He's just throwing machine guns out wherever. He doesn't even care. Double-starred Roshiori, quite dangerous, especially if you can get him to triple star. These infantry finally falling back out of the open here. Roshiori getting caught out a little bit. Ju-87 coming in, not going to make it. Probably going to die. I mean, it's flying directly into this M15. So between the machine gun... Oh yeah, it's definitely dead now. Double Yak 9 supplying a lot of air support there. But now we finally have a Bofors 40 mil in, so that'll be able to at least stop one of these Yak 9s from being too aggressive. This is very strange that he didn't unload at position. This Rashidza needs to get out of this transport. Yeah, I was about to say that would be an absolutely devastating loss. 122mm off map coming in, so something to be aware of there. Khers making nice progress on this hill, although this, well, no, the Kadarashi does have a Panzerfaust. He does notice, but the T-34E is going to bail before he can get that on target. Rashidza continuing to just do so much damage. The northern, it's still secure, but it is really weakening out. There's only like one more infantry unit left of these Shermaviki rocks. Maxim here might go down. And once it does, this OT-34 is all that's really left. Very nicely placed off map. Should do I don't know if it's going to do a lot of damage, but it will like do a lot of suppression and certainly a lot of, you know, will poke everything a little bit. ZB-53 sniper at very close range. Let's see who wins. Double star on the ZB, so it's not... hasn't taken any damage yet. I am interested to see who wins this, really. Oh, the T-34 is going to ruin my experiment. I want to know on its own. Okay, I think the snipers would lose. Yeah, it definitely will, because it's going to get suppressed here any second. Yep. Double Roshiori up here. Well, 1 p.m. and 1 not. To kind of swing down around. This is a good way to get back into this, is to swing down and around into it. Because you really can't go straight at it. It's quite tough. Another thing 26th has in spades is snipers, which is why we're seeing so many of them. Down south, Fanty's poured a lot of troops into this area, but he's not doing much with them. This Rashitsa, again, is in such a dangerous place. I don't know why you wouldn't just put it back here. You're out of range of the infantry, then you could still supply basically the same amount of coverage. Just a very strange placement there by Khers. Like I said, Khers does not care about throwing his troops out in the open. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm just saying he does not give a rip at all. Rashitsa taking out that Max, and that probably fell out back. Kadarashi going to take some 50 mil mortar to the face. Khers now flipping the script here, getting the 13-11, starting to tick Fanty down a little. Fanty with a very aggressive Shermbiki rock push here. I mean, it's definitely true, once they get in, they are extremely dangerous. But they are out in the open right now, and he's going to lose one of these. And these are quite important. They're very strong units, and you don't really want to be wasting them. ISU-152 takes a hit from the Rashitsa and goes down. What a kill. That's 15 points right there thrown away and not used at all. Man, these things. I am so excited to have more of these in the game. I have no doubt that the new Blood Feud DLC is going to be completely broken when it comes out. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. JU-88, A4 coming in. This is a nice little bomber, although with the immediate retreat, it's going to go down to these Yak-9s. Almost definitely. Another big air loss here. Khers not doing great on the air fight. Losing a lot of planes to these Yak-9s. Probably needs to be more aggressive with his AA. Put this 40 mil somewhere up closer. Rashid's in a nice position, though, to... Oh, it missed! Oh! Oh, there it goes. T-34 down. Needed that kill. Kind of bad. 26 doesn't have a ton of T-34 76ers. I think it's 2 cards, I want to say. Might be 1 card, but I think it's 2. Roshiori now finally getting around, flanking around, grabbing this flag for the time being, totally wiping this out. Very nice play there by Khers, working his way back into this northern section. And Fanty's forced to deploy some more troops up there. Down south, Fanty still not pushing. Very, very passive down here. He's playing kind of like I would, which is not a good thing. Breda in a nice position here. Stug taking some shots at that Strafniki trying to get some side penetration there. Did not get it. Roshiori and Stug together should handle this Strafniki quite well, actually, even with the triple DP. Not going to put down enough here. Especially with the Stug. Off-map comes down. Definitely deals some damage, but mostly everything fell back. We have 2 off-map, 2 122 mils. These 122s are not super strong. Obviously, all off-maps cause some good suppression, so that's really all you're going for. Pretty significant reinforcements coming in here, so Fanty re-secure kind of up north there. And this game is still totally up for grabs. This can be anyone's game still. Sniper here gets shot off by the Stug 3. Khers in a good position, but gonna get pushed back even further. Double Rashitsa here. Like I said, this Rashitsa in a really just not great position. He could have had it back here, and this would not be happening. And I do think Khers should have been a little more aggressive, deploying more of these 25 mil Hotchkisses. They're only 45 points? Yeah. He definitely could have got more of them out and kind of stopped Fanty from just tearing up his air. This Sturmoviki gun should be able to easily take out this Roshiori, and it might even catch out this 45 mil here before it does. Oh, yep, there we go. Unfortunate there. You kind of need that to cut off reinforcement. Breda, support gun. These things are quite good just all around. T-34 goes down to it. Stug looks like it went down to the T-34, but it still hung around there quite a while. And to lose another T-34 like that is definitely a pretty big loss. M42 gun trying to get away. Roshiori with that discovery is running away as well. Almost out of rifle ammo, which is quite impressive actually. Breda trying to supply as much support as it can. Roshiori doing what Roshiori do and just holding the line. Rashitsa still alive. 1-man Rashitsa. These things can be so dangerous at 1 man. There's absolutely no difference. It just feels like they're so much more dangerous this way. Gonna lay down some nice fire here on this Strelki. That Baglite Grenade is going to wipe that out, though. And Fanty's definitely running low on, like, his specialized infantry. He brought Strafniki and the Sturmoviki in the A phase, which means he doesn't have many of them, and I would guess he's out of Strafniki and probably starting... He has 2 cards of Sturmoviki Rocks. He's probably starting to run a little low on them. Rashitsa both took some damage from that off-map, but the off-maps appear to be spent, finally. A 3rd Rashitsa. Oh my goodness gracious. I use those things like they're the most valuable things in the world, and he just deployed them all. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 out, and he has probably 6. No, there's the 6. So he's called all 6 Rashitsas in. That is very surprising. Another ISU 152 over here. Rolling around. Fanty up on the 13-11 after recapturing this, but Khers could just capture this back at any moment, basically. He really needs to, because he's just burning points for no reason. Flags, tickets, whatever we're calling them. Looks like artillery's going to start here. Su-76 coming in. 26 does have some artillery tools. They're certainly not the best or most efficient, but off-map coming in now, IAR-39A. Not a great lie for him. I mean, it's a natural spot to throw an off-map, but it's not a great spot, unfortunately, for him. 40 mil. Gonna try to cut off this Yak 9. Okay, well, the off-map got away anyway. He does. If Fanty makes sure he goes that way. Yep, okay. As long as he made it go that way, he was safe. Finally bringing in more 25 mils. This is way overdue. Rashitsa out of HE, which really limits its usability. T-34E taking on this Beretta. Should be able to win this with the T-34 turned the correct direction. It really shouldn't be able to pen that often. It might accidentally or at really close range, but we're at neither of those places, so. Off map coming in. M42 gun dies. Sturmoviki Rocks should get pinned. There we go. Khers a little aggressive with those infantry. They're gonna basically get pinned too. Nope, stops just in time. Pianiti Kaladi, very strong Pioneer units. Double machine gun, double automatic rifle, I should say. We see some more auto cars coming in, armored cars here. Should absolutely wreck these infantry. Just entered into Phase C. It's still anybody's game here. At this point, it's just kind of who built their deck deeper and who can go the distance. I mean, if we zoom out, I mean, neither player has an overwhelming advantage. I would say, if anything, Fanty has a little bit more presence on the map. Oh my goodness, there's more off-map? There was another left still? My god. It's getting obnoxious. I would be raging. Not gonna lie, I would be absolutely raging. Getting off-mapped, what, 6 times? Right? Because you get 3 in each one of these. So yeah, I'd be kind of foaming at the mouth by now. And now we have an Andrusha. Really dropping the ball, though. Does not even kill this Rashitsa, and he really kind of needs to if he ever wants to leverage his armor. Haven't seen any KV-85s, or maybe I just didn't notice them. No, I don't think he has them. KV-85 being like the you know, like basically a T-34-85, very similar. Kind of the heavy armor of 26th, and I don't think he's brought him in. Oh, no, there they are. Found him. Oh, no, that Shug 3 is going down. Oh no, Rashitsa's there too, though. And he's... Oh, I thought he was shooting at the Stug 3 and he wasn't. Oh, that KV-85 is so screwed. Oh, what... Oh, it bounced. Wow, it's not often you see Rashitsa at this range bounce. Wow, these things just fire so fast. ABU sword double coming in, wiping out the infantry there. Great counterattack. Looks like Khers is suddenly turning it on. He's making big inroads. Loss of that tank there by Fanty, really bad. We have a huge force up here. IAR coming in, going to drop that off map. Will definitely open this up, although there's a lot of armor sitting here. He's got to be very careful. Infantry pushing forward up here. Auto cars just absolutely shredding through Fanty's infantry. Now he's killed several of the T-34Es. He's definitely opened the map up a bit. Avtos, again, just kind of not great infantry, and obviously not in a good position here. These Roshiori have just, they've been here for at least 10 minutes. Just holding on. And Khers just continues his aggression. He does not care. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Now, they don't die anymore because they don't do that much damage, but Cavelerie DP definitely a little bit dangerous. With the rocks in range for their flamers, they can definitely do some damage, and they do. Orsha, though, going to wipe out those Strelki rocks. Off-map coming in up north. There's just so much going on. Takes out that 50 mil finally. If only Khers knew they were finally dead. I'm sure his heart would be solved. And now he's got to make this push now. The Rashica cutting off Fanty's ability to just kind of like push armor forward and stop all of this. So that's a great placement of that. Rashica, Panzer II Lukes. We see this out of Khers all the time. Just a line of light tanks. Kind of hilarious. I find the Lukes to be a little redundant in this deck because you have Horshes and ABU Swords, so like they all perform the same job. And truth be, Lukes, despite the fact they're tanks and they have more armor, they're still going to die to anything. It's still 35 millimeters of armor. But with triple Lukes coming in, a lot of trouble. The Orsha looks like it took out that T-34, or the Rashica did. Probably the Rashica, actually. But whatever the case, that tank died. That's a huge death. This Su-85 can't really do much against this just pile of things. And these Panzer II Lukes can just all attack this Su-85, and they'll probably win. Although, Khers looking a little thin in the middle here. Feels like Khers just leaves his troops lying out a lot. I mean, I'm sure he's doing other things, but just seems not like him. I don't know. 13-11 though, and a hard-fought 13-11. Should pick up a 14-10 here any moment. Su-85 running around here to try to maybe cut the road off or something, or maybe he knows there's an army of Lukes coming. Splitting them. Oh no, he's not splitting them up at all. 50 mil mortar getting caught out. Orsha going to wipe them out. Orsha can easily handle all these infantry here. Recaptures this. 14-10. Things are slipping away from Fanty in a hurry here. He's making a push down south finally, but he's lost a lot of troops. There's not a lot left here, actually. This 25 can be extremely dangerous to infantry. We have hop back up here. There's just so much going on. Su-85, this is obviously not what you want for killing infantry. Kind of unfortunate that's all you got here. Cavelerie DP coming in. Strelki Rock's obviously still dangerous, but against 4 Panzer II Lukes, if he gets anywhere near this woods, he's kind of screwed. Orsha is spotting those PTRSs. That PTRS could have done a little bit of damage to these Lukes. Insta-death. Oh no, the Strelki out of position here. Gonna get just absolutely hammered. Oh my god. Oh goodness gracious. Down south, off-map coming in. Where did that come from? He must have brought the plane in. That's really the only off-map that 5th has. 25 mil. It does. No, it's just HE. I thought this one had AT. It does not. Strelki Roxa running out, and Fanty looking extremely thin all of a sudden. A huge push in the middle here as well, basically pushing Fanty off this hill. Really bad for him. Up north, this Panzer II Lukes wall. He's lost 2 of them, but the other 2 managed to fall back this Su-85. Probably won't. I don't think it'll kill it, although maybe they could just damage it to death. Not actually pen it at all, just damage it to death. Push them out. 15-9 for Khers. Fanty now hard-pressed everywhere. Andrusia, though, coming in, doing a ton of damage to these infantry, pinning down everything. Very nice use of that here to kind of like come in clutch. Off-map coming in, dealing some damage, but nothing like crazy. 25 mil probably will die. No, it probably won't. It's falling back. 45 mil going to do some excellent work against this basically T-34. Orsha coming in to clear this out. Huge bulge up to north here. Cavelerie is all Fanty has left, and obviously Cavelerie being significantly worse than Cavelerie DPs. KV-1 though, that can definitely do some damage here. That Rashica needs to move up to help that problem out. M15 laying down the infantry killing there. Very nice. But we have a 17-7 now for Khers. Things have rapidly spiraled out of control here for Fanty. He was doing quite well throughout A and B, and now he's just not keeping up with Khers' attack here. M4, well, it's basically M42, but it's M32 gun. This close can definitely kill this T-34, especially with the APCR. Cavelerie DP, though, catching it out, unless these AB Horshes here are in range, and they absolutely are, and these DPs are going to take a lot of damage. 15-9 still. Lukes is laying it down. KV-1's taking their good old time because they are very slow tanks. And Khers didn't stop. I mean, most people would stop right here at the edge of this woods and re-dig in and just get comfy. Not Khers. He just keeps on going. Can't stop, won't stop. And this is just that incredible aggressive play we see out of Khers all the time. This is why he's such an excellent Vanguard player. Now, I realize we're way out of Vanguard time, but this is why he is a well-known Vanguard player. It's just this extremely aggressive play out of him. We see a lot of people in his Discord play a very similar way, with a ton of aggression, a lot of attacking. I don't think I've ever seen any of them play a balanced income. If this Su-85 gets too close, Orsha are going to take Kyusov here. Yak 9 going to poke around. Hit that Breda a bunch. Roshiori still extremely strong. It doesn't matter what context we're looking at here. 16-8, and Fanty doesn't have much left. He really just does not have a lot left. With this light armor all over the place, just poking and poking and poking. Cavelerie going down everywhere. They really are no match for Roshiori. Cavelerie is driving in, and Fanty calls it there with Khers with a pretty impressive turnaround, because he was pretty far behind there, and he turns it around in quite a stunning victory there. 2,805 kills to 2,780 kills. So really almost exactly equal in kills losses there. Really quite surprising. If we chronologically we look for a quick second here, we can see, well, let's see here. Well, it's looking pretty even. Feels like at the beginning it felt like Fanty was doing a lot better, but it doesn't look as if that is really the case. So we see some very large chunks of kills here from Khers. Oh, this was getting in towards the end here, so this is where Khers was really starting to pour it on. Yeah, I mean, look at the kills here. Let's see who went above and beyond. T-34s did pretty well. Su-85 actually did some stuff. Some Cavelerie did okay, but nothing too incredible. If we look over here, Rashitsa's really pulling their weight. Kadarashi, or Rashitsa again, or Rashitsa. Just doing, those things are so deadly. The 152 off map did some good stuff, actually killed some things. Yeah, it's not what you're bringing it in for, but still. So, excellent game to Khers. Great game to Fanty too. It just kind of got away from him there at the end. If you guys enjoyed that content, hit that like button, subscribe, consider supporting on Patreon, and thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. You are a champ. Have a fantastic day.